Welcome back, patreon.com/the Derrick Lamon Experience, your one-stop shop for your gaming news. Of course, this is the Week in Gaming. Saturdays at 2 p.m. in the afternoon for patrons, they get first crack, and then Tuesday mornings at 9 a.m. for everybody in the free feeds, Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, etc., etc. Grab a drink, grab something to eat, whatever you want to do. Sit on down because we got some stuff to cover this week. It was kind of news heavy in the beginning of the week, so there's a lot of stuff. And to start, as always, or generally what we like to start with, but we don't always get, these rumors. But we're going to start with grain of salt. As always, everything that I mentioned here in this beginning portion of the show, please take with a grain of salt, as it is not actually verified as of yet. This first piece, well, it comes from Reset Air. Santa Monica Studios' next game is not science fiction as everybody has thought it has been. I don't know where that came from, but apparently that's not right. Jason Schreier on Reset Air, quote, "I'll put it this way, it's not a new IP, but it might feel like one. Maybe that's why people are confused. Please don't ask me more questions about this. If I wind up reporting more information at any point in the future, it will be in an article, not on a forum. I can also confirm that Ashong knows what they are talking about, and that sci-fi stuff that people have apparently believed for years now is nonsense." I can't. So it's not a new IP, but some people believe that. So let's see. We're gonna look up Sony Santa Monica Games. We're gonna look up the studio, and let's see. They were founded in 99, 26 years, Santa Monica, California. Connecticut, don't remember this. God of War, Connecticut was in 2001. God of War 2005, God of War 2, 2007, God of War 3, 2010, God of War Ascension, 2013, God of War Reboot 2018, God of War Ragnarok 2022. So this is their games. Now, external games development, they helped out on some Twisted Metal games and other games. So what could it be? Is it an Atreus game? Some people are speculating it could be an Atreus game. I don't know. Jason Schreier knows something. He's been told something or he's seen something because he's like, hey, that all that sci-fi shit is nonsense. I don't know when we're gonna find out. You know how Sony is at this point. They're not going to show anything until they're damn ready. And it seems that they're going to start showing stuff maybe a year out or something like that. That's why that Soros, or I can't remember the name of it, that game, the next game by Housemarque, I would have to imagine that one is about a year or so away. What was the name of that game? Housemarque Games. Let's see. It is in development. Soros. It is Soros. Do we know anything? Set on the planet Carcosa. It follows Soltarian enforcer Arjun Devraj as he investigates a lost off-world colony. Played from a third-person perspective, the game features persistence, resource, and progression systems that allow the player to permanently upgrade Devraj loadout with new weapons and suit enhancements for subsequent playthroughs after each character's death. Sounds like another roguelike. Just saying. I probably not going to enjoy it. I don't know. We don't know what this new Sony Santa Monica game is, but apparently it is Cory Barlog who is heading up this game. So I don't know. We'll get it when we get it, or we'll get some news when we get it. But until then, take this with a grain of salt. As far as other games that we're going to talk about really quickly, this also take with a grain of salt until we hear otherwise. This comes from Insider Gaming. Halo Combat Evolved Remake will only feature a campaign mode, it's claimed. This comes from our friends over at Insider Gaming. New information from Reliable Insider reveals that the Halo Combat Evolved Remake will not feature a multiplayer mode. It will be campaign only. I think this is a mistake because this is why people apparently fell in love with Halo. A lot of people on college campuses were doing LAN parties where they were just playing Halo multiplayer. This is the game. This is what really apparently blew the game up. I didn't play Halo for the first time until I had an Xbox One. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I didn't even have the original Xbox, and I've said that on this podcast before. I got the Xbox 360 because it came to market a year before the PlayStation 3. It's the only reason. So I missed Halo. Like, I know I could have played it at some point, but I looked and I was like, I don't really have any desire. Then I played it. I was like, okay, it's all right for the time. The problem is I played it in a more modern setting, and the game was not modern, right? So had I played it like if Halo Infinite was like the first game, and I remember playing that when it came out. I've been like, oh, this is something I could probably get into. I just think that I might have played it at the wrong time, but who knows? Anyway, new details about Halo Combat Evolved Remake have emerged from Rebs Gaming's latest YouTube video. In the video, he also shares updates on Project Ecor. Halo 7 addresses some rumors surrounding Halo Infinite. Starting with the Combat Evolved remake, Rebs first discusses publicly available information. Halo Studios stated that most of what they showcased for their Unreal Engine 5 research project, Foundry, is expected to be included in the projects they are currently developing. The insider feels that the Project Foundry is clearly based on Combat Evolved. Rebs then shared information he received from two sources connected to Halo developers regarding the Halo Combat Evolved remake. Sources have revealed that the development of the Halo Combat Evolved remake began in 2023, with a planned anniversary project set for release in 2026. It has also been noted that Halo CE remake will feature only a campaign mode and may potentially be released on PlayStation as well. In terms of multiplayer plans, Rebs Gaming has reported that 343 Industries canceled Battle Royale mode for Halo Infinite, known as Project Tatanka. Has been handed over to Certain Affinity. The game development studio has rebranded it as a separate multiplayer game using Unreal Engine 5, which is currently codenamed Project Ecor. Rebs Gaming then refers to a recent post from a Halo data miner named Grunt.api that teased a, quote, title ID code for a game. When asked about its significance, the source confirmed that it pertains to Ecor and indicated that the game has been receiving updates approximately every 6 hours in the past few days. In the next segment, Rebs discuss Halo 7, the upcoming mainline installment in the series based on his exchange with the Halo community manager. He believes that Halo 7 is currently in pre-production, will likely be an indirect sequel. However, players should not expect the game to be released until the next generation of Xbox consoles has launched. Lastly, some rumors surrounding Halo Infinite were debunked. The first rumor suggested that the multiplayer mode of Halo Infinite was being ported to Unreal Engine 5. However, sources including a former developer from Halo Studios and current developer from Halo Sports Studio have confirmed they have never heard of such plans. The second rumor claimed that Halo Infinite will be coming to PlayStation, but again, these sources stated they are unaware of any such intentions. So, I don't know. Yeah, take all that with a grain of salt until something's reported. The Combat Evolved remake, if it was only campaign, from my understanding, it's the multiplayer that really, really built the community for that game. So here's the thing, you're doing the Gears relaunch and you're adding multiplayer to that. Why would you not like add it to Halo? That doesn't make any sense to me. Just me. I don't know. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person who believes this. And remember, I'm not a Halo player, but for the people that rave about that game, I'm like kind of pissed for them. Like, you're half-assing it. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, next, again, take this with a grain of salt until we get some confirmation. I don't know when we'll get that. Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, new rumored details. Launch window is said to be late 2026. I would not be surprised considering they showed Ghost of Yote very late last year, if I remember correctly, and it's coming out October of this year. So this would kind of fall in line with that. Game is said to be The Last of Us Part 2 meets Dark Souls. I don't want a Naughty Dog Souls-like. I don't know why they would do this. This sounds like a huge mistake, and I hope it's not the actual case. The game has big areas with layers of travel. Well, that would make sense considering they're using spacecrafts. So, yeah. Contains planet-side travel with glider, parkour, and faith anchors where you can fast travel. Gameplay is said to be similar to God of War 2018. Okay. You can piece together parts of the story by finding items, collecting journal entries, and exploring. Well, that's literally how you piece together a lot of the story of The Last of Us. So that's not like some huge thing. Like, they're going to drop like little hints around. Like, no, they did this already. This isn't a big thing. Neil Druckmann's script is said to be heavy. The lighting engine is insane. The next trailer is said to be at the Game Awards 2025. We watched the Game Awards. Like, we want to see our favorite games win awards, but also you're watching for the trailers. Like, so we were going to watch regardless. So yeah, we'll see. We shall see. Another rumor, again, take this with a grain of salt until it's actually confirmed. The rumor about a PlayStation 5 Pro update in 2026. Here's a summary of the key details. The focus of the update will enhance the PS5 Pro's PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, PSSR, Sony's AI-driven upscaling technology. The new version aims to deliver performance comparable to AMD's FSR Fidelity FX Super Resolution 4, which is praised for superior image quality and crispness. This upgrade is expected to improve frame rates and visual fidelity, potentially supporting 4K at 60 frames or higher, and possibly enabling 4K 120 frames and 8K 60 frames for some titles. Collaboration with AMD. The update is a result of Sony's Project Amethyst, a partnership with AMD to advance machine learning-based graphics. The new upscaling algorithm is described as a drop-in replacement for the current PSSR, making it easier for developers to implement. It's not a simplified version, but the full fat equivalent of FSR 4, despite differences in PS5 Pro's hardware architecture compared to AMD's RDNA 4 GPUs. Timeline and scope. The update is slated for 2026, likely via Software Development Kit SDK release. Sony is working with developers to integrate this enhanced PSSR into new titles, though it may require additional effort to update existing games. The update is exclusive to the PS5 Pro, as the base PS5 lacks the necessary hardware. Potential impact. The upgrade aims to address current PSSR limitations, such as shimmering in some games, and make the PS5 Pro even more appealing, especially given its high $700 price. It's seen as a way to boost the console's value, particularly for titles like Grand Theft Auto 6, with speculation it could enable 60 frame per second performance. The collaboration with AMD may also influence future hardware, including the PS6 and AMD's RDNA 5 GPUs, suggesting long-term advancements in console and PC graphics. However, some skepticism exists about overhyped expectations like 8K gaming, which many consider unrealistic for AAA titles due to hardware constraints. Not a lot of people have 8K TVs, so it's like not even a conversation we should be having right now. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Like, the 4K TVs were sort of expensive, and the more that the price started to come down on those, then it's like, hey, maybe we should take this to the next level. And that's why we're here now. But there's still a lot of games that do not run at 4K. Not at 4K 60. Some can do it at 4K 30. But this pipe dream about us being like, I remember the PlayStation, I still have my PlayStation 5 launch box, and it says, like, I got one of the ones early, like launch, where it says, oh, 8K. And that's just not a fucking, that's not reality. And I don't remember if the Xbox, I have all my console boxes. I'd have to look to see if the Xbox One said anything about 8K, but that just wasn't a thing. It wasn't a thing. And again, 8K televisions just are not that prevalent for them to even be thinking. You guys still haven't cracked the code on 4K 60 on these, what are being called the most powerful consoles in the world. And that's not just PlayStation, that's Xbox as well. So I think just pump your brakes on 8K right now. That's all I'm saying. We still haven't solved 4K 60. Then, oh, it's going to be 4K 120 frames per second. Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. So I think just everybody pump your brakes on that 8K stuff. This is breaking news. And this, like, I don't know. I was all set. Like, I really like 2K. I think I'm going to buy it this year because I've taken some years off and not buying 2K. I've been playing 2K25 because they put it in PlayStation. It was one of the PlayStation Plus games of the month. I was like, oh, well, fuck it. Why not? And I've actually been enjoying it. I was like, okay, so maybe I'm back on the 2K train. Maybe I'm buying 2K26. And then they released this information. Breaking news, layups are no longer automatic. NBA 2K26 now requires you to time every layup using the layup meter. Success depends on your timing, just like with jump shots and dunks. This is stupid. Yes, you do have to have good timing, good release, and all that to make a jump shot. You 100% do. A dunk, if you're tall enough, is literally the easiest shot. As long as you're tall enough and you can deal with the contact and stuff like that. That's why, like most kids, it's crazy because now the current generation, they get on the ball court and they immediately want to start jacking up threes because Steph Curry did change the game, right? When I was a kid, everybody wanted to be like Michael Jordan. So we all were trying to dunk. And then Shaq came along breaking, like shattering backboards and breaking like the whole, stanchion and stuff like that. So then everybody still wants to dunk. Then Allen Iverson came in and crossed people over. So everybody wanted to have the best crossover and stuff like that. Jason Kidd, passed the ball probably better than anybody since, Pistol Pete Maravich. That includes John Stockton, Isaiah Thomas, and all of them. Jason Kidd passed the ball better than all of them. So everybody's like, oh, well, now I got to do a behind-the-back pass. Then I remember Jason Williams came in. It just wasn't enough to do a behind-the-back pass. You had to add some flair to that shit. So basketball has changed over the years based on other players, right? It does take skill to shoot a 3-pointer. It takes skill to shoot a 15-footer. But it does not. Anybody that knows how to lift off one leg close enough to the fucking basket can do a layup. This is ridiculous. This makes no sense. So I put this in the group chat and the guys were like, this is ridiculous. I don't see why they would do this. This makes no sense. You have to time a layup. My daughter does not play basketball and she could do a layup with her eyes closed. You just have to know when to push off and how close to the basket you have to be to actually push off. This is crazy. Like even if like a floater, that takes timing because you have to do it from one hand, you got to get the right arc on the ball and stuff like that. A dunk and a layup needing a meter is crazy. I'm sorry. That just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I'm not saying this is going to be the downfall of 2K, but this is the problem when you don't have any competition. When you become the game. That's why Madden gets away with a lot of bullshit because there is no other game. NHL, there is no other game. And because NBA Live has been on the shelf, there is no other game. 2K Sports can do whatever the hell they want. Because there is no competition in the market. They can do whatever and get away with it. And this is just like, I'm not going to act like it's the end of the world or anything like that. I just think that it's absolutely insane that you have to time doing a layup. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Like, you do layup lines in warm-ups. From like rec league basketball to high school basketball to college basketball to the NBA to the development league, they all do layup lines like in warm-ups. You literally used to do a layup line in 2K. Now you, just do a shoot around. So please tell me, what part of the game is this? What part of the game is this? This is insane. A lot of people are going to be upset at this. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of people who never play My Career, or they'll play a little bit My Career, but they generally just play the park and stuff like that. And it's like, you're going to piss people off with this. Whether you think so or not, you're going to piss people off with this. And anybody who sit back like, just get better. Dog, you don't fundamentally, like, if that's your retort to this, I'm going to tell you, you don't fundamentally understand basketball. Because why do we call layups high percentage shots? Because they're the easiest shots on the court to take other than free throws. And to be completely honest with you, layups are easier than free throws because you're closer to the basket. So taking a 3-pointer when just a pull up 3 or something like that, when you don't shoot at a high clip versus taking a layup where you have the lane open to yourself, your coach is going to be like, that's not a high percentage shot. Go make a high percentage shot, a layup. It's crazy that I even have to sit here and have this conversation because, I mean, I've just explained it for all the fucking reasons. It's a layup. It's a layup. That's why anything in life where you generally have something that's a task that's like a little tough or something like that, and then you get an easy portion of that, everybody's like, oh, this is a layup. This is a layup. It's not supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be the easiest thing you do. So it doesn't trouble me or anything like that. I just think it's fucking stupid. I'm going to be completely honest with you. So good luck with that. Good luck with that, 2K Sports. In other news, this comes from The Verge. Xbox testing letting you stream your own games on PC. That includes titles available on console only. Xbox is bringing a stream your game feature to PC. On Tuesday, the company announced that Xbox insiders with Game Pass Ultimate subscription can try streaming Xbox games they own, including some that are available on console only directly from the Xbox PC app. Xbox started letting Game Pass Ultimate subscribers stream games from their library to the Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox One consoles earlier this year. Game Pass Ultimate subscribers can also stream games from their TVs and browsers on devices like smartphones, PCs, tablets, and MetaQuest headsets. Bringing the feature to PC is especially helpful, as it will help users conserve storage when playing games with massive file sizes like Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Apology right there. You don't want to play a shooter. Anything that requires quick reflexes like a shooter or some sports games, you don't want to play them via streaming because there's going to be a lag. That's not the game you want to play there. I'm just telling you right there. Like, you're like, yo, they're killing me. I always do great on console. Yeah, you're streaming the game. It's not native, so don't do that. I'm telling you that right now. Yeah, Call of Duty alone requires 128 gigs of free SSD space. Huge mistake. And this is supposed to be like the thing about the SSDs when they were talking about the lead up to the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series consoles was we were supposed to have this thing called priority installation where if you only want to install like for Call of Duty for instance the campaign or only the multiplayer you can do that. So that's actually happening in Call of Duty games. It's not happening in all the other games we were promised that this would take place. So I don't know. Anyway, Xbox currently lets users stream more than 250 games from their libraries in addition to the ones they get through Game Pass. The company says it plans on adding more console-only games and play anywhere titles to its list in the future. Sorry, not feature. So, let me pull up my Xbox app on my PC as I record this, and let's see. Why is it down there? That's crazy. Oh, I clicked Spotify. Dumbass. Let's see. Launching the app. Let's see. I'm not an Xbox insider, so let me see my library. Cloud gaming. Oh, well, yeah. Okay. Well, this is interesting. They're trying to tell me to jump back in some games that I've played. Like the reason I didn't finish it because I didn't really like the game that much. Cloud gaming play 100 plus console games on PC, so it's there. Awesome. But I'm not an Xbox insider, so I don't know how that happened. But it doesn't matter. Speaking of Microsoft, this is very, very interesting. I had a portion of this in the summary for a show like a week ago or something like that, and I forgot to even to talk about it. So apparently, the reason for those Microsoft layoffs was to push their AI initiative. They're gonna have AI do the things that they would have paid these people to do. So this comes from mobilegamer.biz. Multiple sources have given us an insight into what's happening at Candy Crush maker King as it prepares to cut 200 staff. Speaking to us anonymously, they claim many of the staff cut will effectively be replaced by the AI tools they built and trained. That's crazy. So like the Copilot app is on like here on the taskbar of my PC. Like the Copilot app is like integrated into my email at work and stuff because we use Outlook and stuff like that. So it's like I've been seeing this little icon, and now this icon is replacing people's jobs. This is fucking crazy. The London-based Farm Hero Saga team is being cut in half, with about 50 people leaving, including key leadership. One staffer claims employees are being targeted by HR for loudly expressing dissatisfaction internally. King told staff it will present a new organizational chart in September after union negotiations. Many staff are now in limbo for the summer. A recent internal survey showed morale at an all-time low. It's now in the gutter. Bloomberg broke the news that King would be cutting around 200 staff earlier this month. That number was later confirmed by our sources, who told us that cuts were mostly in the middle management and UX and narrative copywriting. We've since been told more detail. Many level designers and user research staff, plus practically half of the London-based Farm Hero Saga team, are to be made redundant. These cuts will affect around 50 people on Farm Hero Saga, we're told, with some of the game's leadership put on gardening leave ahead of their departure in September. Many level designers, user research staff, plus UX and narrative writers have also been told they are at risk, and particularly these staff spent the last few years building and training AI tools to do their jobs. They're now effectively being replaced, say sources. Most of level design has been wiped, which is crazy since they spent months building tools to craft levels quicker, said one staffer. Now those AI tools are basically replacing the teams. Similarly, the copywriting team is completely removing people since we now have AI tools that those individuals have been creating. The fact AI tools are replacing people is absolutely disgusting, but it's all about efficiency and profits, even though the company is doing great overall, they continued. If we're introducing more feedback loops, then it's crazy to remove the developers themselves. We need more hands and less leadership. Same source suggested that the total number of staff cut may be more than 200 outside of the cuts at the London, Barcelona, Stockholm, and Berlin studios. Many centralized staff are also being removed, we're told, including research and QA. If a resource is centralized, it is being cut or moved into the production team, said one source. There's a lot here. I'm not going to read it all, but again, this is crazy. I just saw something on Twitter about an hour or two ago, and somebody was like, they told all these kids to learn coding, right? So everybody said, like, hey, learn coding because that's the future. Don't send these kids out here to be masons and stuff like that. They need to learn coding because that's the wave of the future. This will guarantee a job. And a lot of people were like, go to a trade school, learn a trade. And they're like, no, that's it. You don't need it. And then you don't need that. We're past that. This is the future. This is the wave of the future. And then AI came in and it's like, we don't need these coders anymore because we can do this. And if it's true that Microsoft is all told like using AI to do a lot of the stuff at these studios, this is crazy. This is crazy. These people have told these stories for our lifetime that we've interacted, with via a controller or a mouse and keyboard. And then these same people were told, hey, help build this system, and it's going to help us make these games, and it's going to make your job easier. And then in all reality, it's like, it's actually going to take your job. So it's just hard to fathom how we got to this point, but we are effectively very much here. And to anybody that lost their job to AI, I sympathize. Like, this is fucking crazy. This is crazy. They're integrating a little bit of AI into my job, but not a lot. Actually, other teams. It has not affected my team. And my team is very, very small. But this is really crazy. This is really, really crazy. And they're $1 trillion company. They're doing well. They're doing very well. At least 80% of personal computers around the world run Windows. They're doing great. They're doing great. So it's just funny that we've come to this point. But maybe in the game development portion, I could see Microsoft being like, we spent a lot of money to acquire these studios and they have not paid dividends. So we're getting rid of this whole exclusivity initiative. And also we're going to cut some fat here and we're going to let this computer do your job. It's like the Dusty Rhodes Hard Times promo where he's like, hey, a computer took your job, daddy. It's like, it's fucking manifesting, and that was in the 80s. And here we are having this conversation in 2025. And 2026 is a hop, skip, and a jump away because we're 7 months into the year. We're a little over the halfway point at this point. So it's like, it's scary. I got to say it's scary, and it's scary for anybody in game development because who's to say if you're going to be next? Now, the interesting part, Eurogamer also has something about this. Xbox graphics department lead puts out cringeworthy hiring post with AI graphics. It says Xbox graphics is hiring. Xbox principal development lead for its graphics department has put out a LinkedIn post announcing some new job opportunities. The catch? He used a cringy AI generated graphic to do so, drawing ire. Mike Matzell's weekend post calls for those experienced with device drivers, GPU performance, or related validation, or engineering system experience. The attached image shows a lady typing away on a computer with the text displayed on the back of the monitor. Brilliant. And that was the first thing I noticed. I was like, is this one of those screens that flips around? Because that's the back of the computer. This caught traction online, and as you can imagine, responses to this post are quite negative. Alexander Bertram Powell wrote, quote, appreciate this preview of the care and attention to detail that make you a leader, while Danny Lowe S followed up with first layoffs, then post for hire with AI slop. Wonderful work, Xbox. This post came at a bad time. Earlier this month, Xbox cut a significant chunk of its workforce across various game developers, such as ZeniMax Online Studios, Rare, The Initiative, and more. I'm going to pause there. So we did find out Rare was doing like a direct or whatever, and everybody's like, Unitune, and I'm like, I don't know what they could show me that I'm really going to be interested in playing, because it seems like they're not doing the stuff that made them famous, right? GoldenEye and Cruising the World are the Rare games I played the much. I'm pretty sure. Did Rare do Cruising the World? Let me check that. Maybe they didn't. Cruising USA. Let's see. Cruising USA. No, it was Midway. What the fuck am I thinking about? Rare did a lot of the Donkey Kong Country and shit like that. But I know for sure. So yeah. Let's see. What did they do? Oh, they don't have a list. Donkey Kong Country, Banjo-Kazooie, Conquer, GoldenEye 007, Perfect Dark, Star Fox Adventures, cameo elements of Power, fighting games, Killer Instinct, racing games, Diddy Kong Racing. So I'm like, they're not we already know who has 007 license. We know IO Interactive is working on the James Bond game, and it looks phenomenal, by the way. So I was like, well, I don't know. I'll catch like the Cliff Notes version of it. Come to find out, apparently Rare from this point on will only be working on Sea of Thieves. Like, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. So it's also been reported Microsoft is pushing its remaining employees to use more AI at work in the wake of these layoffs. As such, while a sizable chunk of the company has been let go, those remaining are left handling software that's largely yet to generate any provable increases in productivity or income. You can always tell when a picture is AI because they never get the hands right and stuff like that. It's just little things. Or like a logo on a shirt. If you upload a picture of yourself and you tell AI to animate it, they'll never get the logo right or something like that. So you can tell when something is AI versus an actual illustration from an artist that's hand drawn or something like that. And we're at the point where we're going to be past that. We watch print die. We watch magazines die. We watch all that shit. And I'm like, am I to blame? Yeah, because I read books on my iPad. I still go to the library from here or there, check out books and buy books. But yeah, I read a lot on my iPad. So I'm just as guilty for print dying as anybody else. Now they're going to kill off true illustrators, right? Because what happens when they start using AI to do comic books, like do the panels of a comic book story? Like, there's something about the person who does the pen work and who does the coloring and stuff like that. Like, a sheet starts with one person and they draw the panels, and then it goes to the next person, and then they insert the characters into these panels, and then it goes to the next person, and then they do the pen work, and then it goes to one more person and they do all the color, and they're going to wipe that out. I would not be surprised if AI isn't doing comic books within the next year or so, right? Now we look at this, and the image, again, AI is not great because who the fuck is typing on a computer monitor when all the inputs are on the back side of the monitor and you can't see anything? And he still put this out and thought nothing of it. And did this in the wake of 9,000 people across Microsoft divisions losing their job, and people in the Xbox division specifically losing their job to AI. This just looks terrible. This looks absolutely fucking terrible, and I can't believe that they allowed this shit to go out the door. There's got to be checks and balances. But everybody's trying to save a buck, and that's what's gotten us to this point today. It's just really, really bad. I can't for the life of me fathom how we got here, but this is where we are. This is I think it was Hyman Roth said it in The Godfather Part 2. He's like, the whole conversation, he talks about Mo Green. He's like, this is the business we've chosen. This is the business we've chosen. Money walks, bullshit runs a marathon. They're being cheap, and I get it. Video games are very expensive to develop at this point. Like, we've seen, like, that court case, like, for the fight for Activision Blizzard, when they started revealing some of the cost of, like, development of Sony games versus Microsoft games, and it's like, we would never know that if Sony hadn't tried to block the deal. We would never know that. But now we do. We know how much it costs to fucking develop The Last of Us Part 2. And they're looking at this like, oh, no. No. And the crazy thing, again, is not saying that Microsoft should just throw money away and throw money at a problem. They are the most profitable company in the world. They're the most profitable company in the world. So you're losing probably more money on actually manufacturing Xbox hardware. You got to cut something somewhere. If anything would have gone, I got to tell you, never mind, because they're going to say, oh my God. Maybe you cut the cost of the Xbox Series S and the Series X. I don't know, but they, in fact, raised the price on their consoles and then said, yeah, well, our games are going up to $80 in the fall. So it's just like, how are you worth $1 trillion? Because you guys you keep making bonehead decisions. I don't get it. Anyway, for my good friends over at Video Games Chronicle, Donkey Kong Bonanza director says he's aware of occasional performance issues, prioritizing fun. Press noticed occasional frame rate drops in recent hands-on. I saw a bunch of people on Twitter, a couple of friends of mine posted their copies of DK Bonanza. I hope you guys enjoy it. Not getting the game. It didn't like I remember seeing like when they did the Switch 2 Direct, I was like, okay, oh, we're going to do a Donkey Kong Direct later. And then they did the Nintendo Treehouse and all that stuff, and I watched and I was like, no, I'm not buying this game. It just doesn't do anything for me. Anyway, speaking of Spanish outlet La Vanguardia, Nintendo's Kazuhiro Takashi was asked about frame rate drops the interview noticed when playing the game. Quote, there are several factors to consider, Takashi said, responded. First, we intentionally used effects like the hit, stop, and slow motion to emphasize impact. Second, because we use voxel technology, there are times when there are major changes in destruction in the environment. We're aware that performance may drop slightly at these times. However, as you say, overall the game is smooth. And at points where large-scale changes occur, we prioritize fun and playability. Takashi joined Nintendo in 2000, having previously worked on other open-world titles at his former companies, most likely Square Enix, according to a Moby Games page. Personally, while I had no prior experience working on Donkey Kong games, I do have very fond memories of playing Donkey Kong Jr. and later Donkey Kong Country, he said. After I learned I'd been assigned to Donkey Kong Bonanza team, I replayed all the games in the franchise. In particular, Donkey Kong Country introduced unique mechanics like barrel cannons and mine carts. VGC published a hands-on preview with Donkey Kong Bonanza last week. They wrote, like Mario's recent 3D outings, Donkey Kong Bonanza will likely be greater than the sum of its parts. Cavalcade of ideas and mechanics that might not seem like much on their own, but together form a consistently entertaining adventure. I don't know. Mario Odyssey I thought was absolutely great. I love that game. What else do we have? Oh, the Mortal Kombat 2 movie trailer is out today. Carl Urban looks really dope as Johnny Cage. There's some nostalgia in there. Some of the set pieces, like, oh my god, like the portal and stuff like that. It looks really good. I'm actually really excited. It is coming out in October. So I can't wait to see that. What else do we have? 7 months after Cyberpunk's last update, yet more new content has been revealed. Cyberpunk 2077 2.3 is set to add new quests, cars, and more. Cyberpunk 2077 Update 2.3, which like 2.2 is created in partnership with Virtuous, will release for PS5, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series consoles, PC, and Nintendo Switch on July 17th. Nintendo Switch 2 on July 17th. I'm recording this on the 17th, so by the time you guys hear this, it will be out. Detailed in the live stream on Wednesday, 2.3 will add new quests, new vehicles, photo mode, features, and more. Notably, the new update adds a Delamain taxi service to the game while driving an own vehicle. Players can now choose to create a map marker and enable auto drive to navigate to the destination hands-free. Night City's driverless taxi service is also operational thanks to the ability to summon a Delamain cab while using either mode. Various cinematic camera angles can be enjoyed. CD Projekt said. For those who prefer to drive around themselves, brand new vehicles have also been added with Update 2.3 in the form of a motorcycle and 3 new cars. In addition, new technology features have been introduced with VRR support consoles, AMD FSR 4.0 support, AMD FSR 3.1 frame generation, Intel XeSS 2.0, improved HDR settings, and more. So, yeah, if you're still playing that, make sure you download that update. I'm not gonna lie, I've tried it on every console except for the Switch 2, and I just can't get into it deep. It's just, I don't know. I'm sure it's a fine game. It's just like it doesn't pull me in. I don't know. In other gaming news, games hitting the silver screen, Zelda and Link's movie actors have been revealed. Nintendo has announced the actor set to lead in the Legend of Zelda movie. 16-year-old British actor Benjamin Evan Ainsworth, best known as the voice of Pinocchio in Disney's live-action remake, will take on the role of Link. My question is this: will Link actually speak in the film? Because he doesn't speak in the fucking games. Zelda talks, the Goron talks, the bird talks, the Gerudo talks. Everybody talks except for Link. So, I don't know. Meanwhile, Zelda will be played by 21-year-old English actor Bo Bragason, who is known for her roles in the BBC One series Three Girls and the Jetty and the Disney Plus series Renegade Hell. The Zelda movie will be produced by Nintendo Shigeru Miyamoto and veteran Hollywood producer Avi Arad, the former chief creative officer of Marvel Entertainment. Nintendo recently delayed the release of the Legend of Zelda movie to May 7th of 2027. She looks like she could play Princess Zelda. Him, are they going to dye his hair? Because his hair is like, it's brown. I don't know. Again, it will be produced by Nintendo and Arad Productions and directed by Wes Ball, the director behind the Maze Runner trilogy and Kingdom of the Planet of Apes. In an interview earlier this year, Ball said he wanted to make the Zelda movie, quote, something serious and cool, but fun and whimsical. That doesn't sound good. Previously, in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Ball said his vision for the movie is inspired by the work of Studio Ghibli co-founder and Spirited Away director Hayao Miyazaki. According to reports, the Legend of Zelda movie could be part of a planned trilogy as production prepares for shooting later this year. According to the movie industry insider Daniel Richtman, all major acting roles will be signed for 3 films planned over 6 years. So a film every 2 years. Okay. Yeah. Legend of Zelda is the third Nintendo franchise to receive the film treatment in recent years, as Detective Pikachu and the Super Mario Bros. Movies were released to huge success, with the latter becoming one of the highest grossing animated films ever. I'm going to go see it because I love The Legend of Zelda. Do I have high hopes? No, I still think it should be an anime. Just going to be completely honest with you. Avi Arad did some good stuff. Not taking anything away from Avi Arad. This is a wait and see. We'll hold off on judgment, obviously, because we can't judge right now because we haven't seen anything. But I don't know. Lastly, people have gone hands on with Mafia: The Old Country, and I'm hearing good things. So Hangar 13 kind of talked to some people, and we have some quotes from it. Hangar 13 felt similarly about Mafia 3 in hindsight as players did, that the open world didn't fit Mafia well. No, it did not. No, it did not. And I've told you guys this. I've said this over and over ad nauseum. Just giving me a big map and putting a bunch of icons on it and saying this is over 100 hours of gameplay does not mean it's going to be a good game. I love the Mafia series. Mafia 3 is the only one I haven't finished. 1 and 2 finished, loved them. Mafia 3 is too long and bloated, and I hope a lot of other developers take heed from this. It does not have to be a huge map with a bunch of icons saying do this, do this, do this, do that, and then occasionally jump in on the story. It's ridiculous. So I'm glad that they felt what we felt, and I'm glad we're at this position. The team wanted to go back to a linear, narrative-driven experience with a lot of detail. Positive reception of 2020 remake of Mafia 1 served as the inspiration. Playing as Enzo, you've escaped the sulfur mines you worked in as a team to become your own free man, working in the vineyard of Don Teresi. The game depicts Enzo's progression from an innocent kid to a member of the Teresi Mafia family. After playing about 3 hours across 3 chapters, IGN notes the game doesn't feel like it'll be wrapped up in only 6 hours or so, nor 30 to 40 hours given its $50 price tag, but good for players interested in a tight, structured action game. I wonder if he's going to have any... Are they going to tie this to the original Mafia or anything like that? I don't know. Ride horses across the Sicilian countryside. Collect money from protection racket for your protection racket. You can choose which horses to ride, each having its own personality and traits. Visuals are impressive. Nice skyboxes, green hills, and farmlands. Did a great job of establishing the old country Sicilian setting. The large focus on knives, unlock, and earn new ones, each with unique modifiers. There are a lot of moves in knife fighting like thrusting, slashing, parrying, and dodging. Third-person shooter gunplay doesn't break the mold, but feels comfortable, effective, and fun. Recognizable to anyone who's played a good third-person action game in the past decade. Shotguns pack a satisfying punch, as they should. One mission sees Enzo babysit Gennaro, the son of Baron Fontanella, another big mafioso, and Isabella Don Teresi's daughter, who Enzo has feelings for as they set up for a picnic date. The kidnapping ensues, car chases on horseback, lots of killing, double-crossing, business partner, and potential romantic feelings between Isabella and Enzo. There are many opportunities for players to completely stealth their way through camps and enemy compounds. Stealth is fairly straightforward. Crouch to make less noise, toss items to distract bad guys, knife or strangle enemies from behind, hide bodies in empty containers. You can upgrade your stats, like dampening the sound of your footsteps, for example. One mission sees Enzo infiltrating the villa of a character and could truly have been pulled straight from a Splinter Cell game. Gives players choices on how to reach the top and pass to take. All in all, this all sounds good. This all sounds really good. We're about a month away at this point. I cannot wait to play this game. Again, like I said, I love Mafia. I love Mafia 2. The third one lost me because of the open world structure, and I'm glad that they realized that it didn't resonate with us as fans, and it didn't truly resonate with them as developers. Again, I get it. They were caught up in that time. It's just like when everybody who made single-player games, when they released their next game, it was still single-player, story-driven narrative, but they tacked an online multiplayer suite onto it. And then it was like when the first microtransactions came out, everybody else found a way to put microtransactions in their game. It's follow the leader. That's all it is. But I'm glad that everybody's going back to original thoughts and things like that. This is greatly fucking needed because we may be seeing the crash of gaming because of this AI nonsense. So I gotta tell you, I'm a little worried about video games, this thing that I love. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit worried, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I just don't think that developers don't fundamentally understand fans. They just don't. And that's why we're getting a lot of bullshit. But whatever. It is what it is. Anyway, that's all the time I've got for you guys. I'm going to end this like I end everything else. Believe in yourself first and foremost, because if you don't believe in yourself, of course, nobody else will believe in you. As always, my name is Derek, and that's my time. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.